I'm Jennifer Della Quadri, and this is Subtle Shifts, the podcast where you'll learn how to transform your life from the inside out, one small, meaningful shift at a time. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm really excited to talk about this topic, and it's one that I haven't really talked about too much in the past. If you heard my Midlife episode 151, then you have heard me talk about this topic before, but I don't talk about it a whole lot. And it's because it's triggering for me, or it has been in the past. Because growing up in the 80s and then the 90s, when there was so much focus on being thin, everything revolved around diet culture, and the goal is be as thin as you can. Thin is beautiful. Thin is better. And so that narrative has been ingrained in my brain so much that I resist it. And I've talked about this in therapy, which is why I'm in a better place about it now. But I haven't really talked about it a lot. And I really think that it's a missed opportunity because it is a huge part of my life. And when I say it, I mean having a healthy body, eating nutritious foods, and feeling strong, fitness, diet, nutrition, all of those things are huge in my life. And the times when I've transformed myself and my confidence have always begun with me getting my health under wraps and feeling good in my body. But I don't talk about it here because I never want to push the narrative on any of you that that's the number one thing. And I know it's not the number one thing. And by talking about it, I'm not making it the number one thing. I'm making it a thing that we all deal with. I'm talking about the thing that we all struggle with in some fashion or have in some area of our life. And I want to bring it out into the light because it's so important. It's a very important part of having a balanced mind, body, and spirit is feeling good in your body. And that becomes a big issue for many women in midlife. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about why it's so hard to lose weight in midlife. And I'm also going to be sharing with you how you can lose weight if this is a challenge for you. And I go on message boards on Facebook. I'm in groups and menopause groups, and I can't tell you how many women are in there talking about how everything they always used to do no longer works. And I identify with that. In my 30s, after having kids, I found a fitness routine and a way of eating that worked for me to where I didn't even have to think about it. It just worked until I hit midlife, my mid-40s, and it stopped working. And then I started to beat myself up. And that's why I'm talking about it now, because there's so much shame that can be tied into body image, especially if you have felt good about your body before, or it's not something you've struggled with before, and then all of a sudden the wheels are falling off of the bus. It feels like a personal failure. And that's my experience. And I know so many women when I'm speaking with friends and I'm speaking with the clients I work with, that it really does weigh you down. And when it's weighing you down, it impacts all other areas of your life. And so that's what this episode's going to be about. It's going to be about how to lose the weight in a healthy way. And I'm going to share with you step by step what you can do to turn things around. And I'm also going to be talking with you about how to be successful in this moving forward, because you have the rest of your life to enjoy and you don't want your weight to impede upon that enjoyment. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the science. Science is not my area of expertise. I am a psychology person. But there is a big science component on why we gain weight in midlife, and I am going to talk about it. No, I am not an expert, but yes, I've done research. So let me just start by talking about the energy that comes with feeling dissatisfied on something in your life. A couple of episodes ago, I shared about the 7 levels of energy. If you haven't listened to that, go listen to that. But the catabolic energy that comes with just feeling out of control in weight gain, it impacts every area of your life. And then when you turn things around and you do feel like you're eating healthy food, you do feel like you're exercising and nutrition is on point and you feel good in your clothes, that anabolic energy impacts every area of your life as well. So when you get that dialed in, it impacts everything. And I'm speaking from personal experience. So let's get into the science of it all. Why is it so hard to lose weight in midlife? A lot of it, yes, has to do with hormones. They play a big role in regulating your metabolism. They also impact your appetite and your fat storage. And when you go through perimenopause and menopause, those hormonal fluctuations, they can also really impact your body's ability to lose weight. One of the hormones that plays a big role is estrogen. So when your estrogen takes a dip, it affects where the fat is stored in the body. So before you hit menopause, this may not necessarily be you, but it was for me, the fat storage, and estrogen makes the fat storage around the hips, right? But then once you hit menopause and estrogen dips, then you start gaining the fat around your midsection, which is something like I never had problem gaining weight around my midsection. And then when I hit midlife, I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Estrogen. That also can impact, the estrogen can impact your appetite. So when you have lower estrogen, your appetite might increase. And so not only are you hungry, but you're not as satiated when you eat. So you've got those two things really playing against you when it comes to the hormones. There's also, when your hormones changes happen, your body becomes less sensitive to insulin, which can also lead to more fat storage and make it difficult to access those fat storages for energy, which is all the things your body was a little bit more adept at doing when you were younger. And then there's also an increase in cortisol with chronic stress, which really is common in midlife when you're taking care of aging parents. You've got a teenager who's growing up and potentially a young adult who's figuring things out. And you've got on top of that, the typical career stuff happening. It's a lot. And that can also lead to fat accumulation, particularly in the belly. In addition, there's a metabolic slowdown. I told you I wasn't a science person. A metabolic slowdown. And after the age of 30, your muscle mass, it's decreasing by about 3 to 8% per decade. And it really accelerates after age 50. I turned 50 last year and I saw that and I'm like, oh, great. Oh, that's really great to know. But the thing is that your muscle tissue is burning more calorie than fat at rest. And so when you have less muscle, it means a slower metabolism. We've known that for a really long time. And I'm going to get into the muscle building when I start talking about what you can do. Also, when you're getting older and as you age, the number of calories your body burns at rest is also decreasing. So even if your eating habits are exactly the same, your body is going to burn fewer calories, which of course is going to lead to gradual weight gain. And then there's also lifestyle factors. When you're in midlife, you may not be as active. You're not chasing around little kids as much. You're not running around here and there. Your lifestyle might be a little more sedentary. And then you've also, like I mentioned, got a lot of demands going on. You've got a lot of stress and a lot of things that you're dealing with, which maybe will lead you to go to convenience foods or not really have time to figure out a perfect lifestyle diet because you're reaching for something in the quick sense. You don't have as much time to plan, and there's not as much nutrients in that. Also, what we have going against us is that our sleep isn't great in midlife. So if you're going through the midlife wake up at 3 a.m., hello, welcome, you're in good company. So fun to wake up at 3 a.m. and lay there and stress about life for an hour. And then maybe get up and have your day. It's so fun. But when you aren't sleeping well, that impacts your body's ability to regulate. That impacts your hormones. And that also can increase your hunger cravings and your need for sweets, which of course leads to weight gain. And I've talked about burnout before. This is a big part of being a woman in midlife. Burnout does impact your ability to lose and maintain a healthy body weight. There's a lot going on there. So I say all of this speaking from personal experience, guys. I know. I've seen the impact on this. And I kept blaming myself. I kept thinking, gosh, I guess I just don't have the motivation. I guess I just am not trying hard enough. I guess I, just lost my control over my food and all of that, which 100% is not true. So if you're in a situation right now where you're feeling like you've tried everything, like literally, that was me a little over a year ago. I felt like I had tried everything. And I wanted to just one last go at this. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to quit. I don't like the way I feel, and I'm not going to quit on this. So I say this with compassion and empathy, knowing how you feel, because I am you. I've gone through this. And I also have found a solution that works for me. And I'm not just saying it works for me, it's worked for women in midlife all throughout the ages. And it's not easy, but it is doable. And I'm telling you from the other side, it is doable. So know that I'm here with you and I'm understanding what you're going through. It sucks. Now, I'm going to share with you 3 things that you can do to start reeling it back in and start feeling good about your body again and start losing that weight that's just been creeping up. The number 1 tip that I'm going to give you is to go to a health professional and get your blood work done. You have to figure out where you are to know where you're going. And there are some things that you cannot control and that you might need a health professional to support you with. So get your thyroid function checked, get your hormone levels checked, check for your cortisol, your vitamin D, get a full panel done. And let that expert help you address those underlying issues, whatever they may be. Really a functional medicine doctor if possible. I went to a female doctor, someone who specializes in women's reproductive health and menopause, and it was a great place for me. That's where I got my panel, but that was where I learned that I had no detectable estrogen. Surprise! It wasn't all my fault, but I needed to know that through a test, and I'm glad I got that answer. So I recommend you doing the same thing. The second one you do have control over, and that is eating in a calorie deficit. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you that when I heard this, I was immediately triggered because, again, it took me back to the calorie counting and the eat as little as possible, lose as much weight as you can narrative that I grew up with. I didn't want to track my calories because I was sick of having to live that type of lifestyle. But that's what you need to do. And it might help to do some mindset work around it, like I did, to reframe what you're doing so that it actually feels good to you and feels like something you want to do. But until I dialed in my calories and was truly and honestly eating in a calorie deficit, nothing shifted on the scale. So you may be wondering, how do I know if I'm in a calorie deficit? Well, there is a very simple answer and something that you can just do with some basic math. What you can do is take your goal weight. And when I say goal weight, this is like obviously where you want to be, but that doesn't necessarily mean like that's the end all be all. It's just, hey, I would like to be at this weight. And then you multiply that by 12. That's your daily caloric intake to be at a deficit. So if your goal weight is 150, you multiply that by 12, it's 1,800 calories. Boom, your calorie deficit. And in order to have this be effective, you're going to need to track the calories and meticulously track. So yes, this is going to take some work up front. It's going to take some time and effort. And what I recommend doing, this is what I did, is to just track what you're eating before trying to make any changes. Just see like, well, what am I eating now and how did the calories count out for that? Let's see where I'm starting at to just give me an idea of like, oh, okay, so this thing that I'm eating has this amount of calories. Okay, oh, so when I eat this dinner, this is X amount of calories. So it's just building an awareness. And then the next week, you can start being a little more intentional with how many calories you eat at every meal, how much you consume. And I recommend using an app like MyFitnessPal. It's great. It's what I have always used. It's easy. It's got a scanner on there so you can scan things like with the barcode on the food. The easier that is, the better. Trust me. And just start by looking at the number of calories. Don't worry about your macronutrients yet. Yes, it's important, but just start with the calories, because if you try to overhaul everything, you're going to get overwhelmed. And when you are overwhelmed, you're more likely to quit. So just start with the calories. And when I say be honest, I mean be honest. I speak from personal experience in that I had a daily calorie goal, and so I would manipulate the numbers to make sure that I was under the calorie goal, even if I wasn't being completely honest. And lo and behold, I wasn't losing weight. Surprise, surprise. It's because I was not being honest. There's no judgment there. But no, yes, you do have to pay attention. You might need to weigh your food, get yourself a little scale, like do all of those things. Know that you're not going to have to do this forever. I do not count my calories anymore. I have not counted my calories for about a year now. I don't need to, because I spent intentional time for a month or so to reframe and to readjust what I was eating and to know what I was eating. So now I don't even have to think about it anymore. So yes, it will take some work up front. And with all of this, don't judge yourself. It already sucks to have to focus so much on this. Don't beat yourself up because you're needing to measure your food. Don't make it mean anything about you, that you failed or that you have to go on a diet and XYZ. No, you're just you're becoming aware of what you're eating. And that is not ever a problem. Just like you want awareness and how you respond to people in your life, you want awareness to how you show up, you want awareness to what you're putting inside your body. This is the vessel you were born with. This is the vessel you are going to leave this earth with. It is your responsibility to take care of it. And part of that is thinking about what you put inside of it. Okay. Remember, it's not about starvation. You're not here to try to shave it all off as fast as you can. No, your goal here is to reframe how you eat, to adjust how you eat, and still give your body what it needs. Okay? So for me personally, I was hungry for about 2 weeks, pretty much all the time. Not starving, but I was hungry. And I stuck with it. And after 2 weeks, I wasn't hungry anymore. Like I was hungry to eat, yes, like normal hunger, but I didn't feel hungry all of the time. So be patient with it. This takes a lot of patience, okay? And give yourself the love through it, right? One day you may go over the calories. That doesn't mean you're a big fat failure and quit, throw in the towel and you suck. No, it means that was one day. The next day, guess what? Calorie deficit is right there waiting for you, okay? That is the point, is to keep it sustainable, to do something that feels sustainable. Yes, it's going to be an adjustment. Yes, it's going to be harder at first, but not always. Okay. That's number 2. Number 3 is to move your body every day. And that doesn't mean exercise for an hour every day. Okay. So the human experience, especially for high-performing people, is I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do this kick-butt program. It's going to just be so hard, and it's going to get me to my goal. No. Your goal is to move every day. Take where you are as far as fitness goes. Where are you? Are you pretty sedentary? Then bump it up to a little bit more activity, maybe going for a walk. Are you already pretty active? Do you already go to the gym and work out at least 3 days a week? Okay, throw in some extra steps. 7,500 steps a day. Good goal. Just a little bit, a little bump. Okay, maybe you already work out a lot like I did. I was working out a lot and nothing was working. I kept my workout the same and I just shifted one little thing. I added in some high intensity cardio. Not every day, like 1 day a week, maybe 2. I didn't kill myself there. You're just bumping it up a notch to get your body moving a little bit more. Yes, having strength training is important. Yes, having different types of cardio is important. Yes, flexibility, balance work, mobility are all important. But right now, you're just getting on track. The main focus for you is the calorie deficit. You can work on fitness as you go. So to make the main point, let that be all of your focus, and then maybe just bump up your movement a notch. And then once you get your nutrition under wraps, then maybe you can start thinking about what you're going to do for your fitness. Okay? Even just 10 minutes of movement a day when you weren't doing it can make a difference. If anything, it impacts your mood. And when you feel better, you're more inclined to make better decisions. Right? Okay. So we all know this is a hard phase in life when it comes to weight gain. And I told you what you can do about it. But the truth is, knowing what to do and really actually doing it, they're two different things. It's hard to stay accountable and really make the lasting changes when you're just doing it alone. But you don't have to. That's where I can come in. I'm going to be your cheerleader through this. We're going to work together through this. We're going to take some time to look at where you are with love and compassion. We're going to talk about what you're wanting, where you want to go. We're going to get to know each other in this process. I'm going to start by giving you a full intake so I can analyze where you are and then take your goal. And I'm going to tell you exactly what to do step by step to get you on the way to where you want to go. Where you want to go physically, but also emotionally and energetically. Because everybody's experience in this is different and unique. And as someone who's been there, done that multiple times in my life, I know how challenging it can be to stick with it. So once you have your plan, I'm going to be your accountability partner. You'll have your step-by-step plan, but I'm also going to help you stay with that plan and adjust the plan. Step it up or step it back. We're going to look at the results together. We're going to see how is it landing in your life, what's getting in the way, whether it be logistical things, whether it be time, whether it be your energy, whether it be your motivation, and we're going to address that. I'm going to cheer you along the way. I'm going to cheer you on. I'm going to be your buddy. Because building habits and doing all of this in isolation can just feel like a drag. It can feel like a drain. So I'm here for you through this. Because once you start feeling better in your body, your mind and your spirit will follow. Your relationships will improve. You'll feel better in your work. You'll be able to pay more attention to the people that you care about the most. And you'll feel good in the process. So let's get this conversation going. Click the link in the show notes to schedule a time to get on a Zoom call with me, and we'll talk about this. And make sure that this is the direction that's right for you at this phase in your life. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to support you through this. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. If you're ready to take the next step in transforming your life, be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you today, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts, tag me on social media, or leave a review to help others find the podcast. Remember, the smallest shifts can create the biggest transformations. I look forward to hearing from you.